Welcome into the DNVR Avalanche Podcast. It is Thursday, August 14th. We're already to mid-August. Honestly, it's gone by pretty fast. It hasn't felt that bad. I don't think it's been too bad. Less than 2 months away from regular season NHL hockey. Long way to go still, though. So yesterday, if you didn't tune in, we ranked numbers 20 through 11 of the current active best peaks of players in the NHL. Today, we'll be ranking 10 through 1. I imagine the arguments will be very fierce, but also we're going to have a bunch of the same names, just in different orders, unlike last show where we were all over the map with names. So it's going to be a little bit of everything on today's show. We'll see about it. No real major news. It's Logan O'Connor's birthday, so, repping the shirt, get yourself some. Go to the ALLCITY store. Go get yourself some sick Av shirts. Jump in on it.
Also, Scott Wedgwood.
Yeah, there you go.
Is it?
Yeah, both of their birthdays.
Double August birthday. It is very hot.
A couple of Leos around here.
I'll stick to my Sagittarius life.
Oh my God, you're such a Sagittarius.
If you say so.
What's a Sagittarius like? What's the main thing for Sagittarius? Like they like to intimidate. I felt yesterday Rudo was intimidating yesterday right off the bat. He was intimidating.
Was
he was
I
trying to go after him? Yeah, he was like. Then AJ
No way.
was intimidating. I felt I folded yesterday. I felt like I got
I feel like
I played light.
I got bullied off of my Josh Morrissey pick. Even the YouTube comments were bullying me for my Josh Morrissey pick.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Good.
Dude, go look at his last year.
Take.
No, his peak, if we're doing a 1-year peak, his last year, really good.
No.
Rudo loves the Jets. That's
just because you only care about playoffs, all right?
That's not true. It is part of the conversation, though.
It's a big part of mine.
Some other news. I don't know that anyone really cares, but in ex-Avalanche news, Jack Johnson gets a PTO. Not with the Avs, but, he might still be in the league.
In Minnesota, right?
Was it Minnesota or was it? I thought it was Seattle for some reason. Okay, that makes more sense than Seattle.
Minnesota.
I mean, Seattle is loved. They wouldn't have given Jack Johnson a PTO. They would have given him a multi-year
They just
deal.
signed him.
They love those Colorado cast-offs.
Not wrong. Not wrong.
I love it.
It is what it is. Let me ask you a question really quick. As we've seen, there's a handful of guys that are already in Colorado skating around. I wouldn't call it practices or anything, but we've seen guys like Burns and Nelson doing some turns, shooting some pucks. When is normal in the modern hockey? Like after your time, what is a normal time to show up back in town?
Well, here's what I'll say. I think the one thing that has not changed is where you finished the year. When you finished the year. So I think that's first and foremost. I think that dictates the rest of your summer. If you're the Panthers and you won all the way and all this and this and that, your summer is shortened. I think you get a different answer than a team that didn't make the playoffs or the Avalanche that got, bounced down the first. So I think that's a little bit, you have to take that in consideration. Like you said back then, if we can touch up on that, because I'd like to touch about the old days, but it was so funny because a guy like Joe like would be like, "Are you stupid?" If I called him and said, "Hey, I got some ice," and it'd be like the end of July, he's like, "No, I'm not touching the ice till it's like mid-August." You know what I mean? And it was so funny because it was so stubborn, you know. Or Patty like didn't put on the pads till like September 1st. You know, he was playing 36 and every day and just getting his mental game ready that way. So different. I think where they realized it nowadays, and that's why those guys are so much smarter than we were back then, is it's such a business now. They figured that one out. So they get to the rink early, even if it's June or whatever it is, and they work on their skills. Man, we never thought about that. That's how stupid we were. You know, those guys are smart now. They go and work on their skills. So you're really not taxing your body, right? You're just working on some skills and, you know, so it's very important. I would say that all guys now incorporate skills practices into the regimen of the workouts. You know what I mean? Where, you know, you're not going to hear a coach say, no, 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 stay away from the ice. That's a little different. You know, I mean, you're working on specific parts of, you know, picking up pucks off the wall or shooting off the wing or, you know, so it's a little different. I do believe that I'm going to put my management hat on right here. I believe that, and that's old school, but I still believe it works that way. Like, if I'm working for the Avalanche and you know, and we're dealing with some young guys, I want them in town. I want them working out with our guys. I want them working out with our strength conditioning people. I want them working out on our ice. And, you know, I'm not going to change. I'm old school that way. I felt I did that. It was an important part of my um, development. And I think that if you do it that way, you're showing your employer a little more like, you know, you're really into it. You really want to make that team. You want to get there. So I think that nowadays it's like now's the time that people are going to start showing up at family sports here. I think your veteran players should, you know, this is a little different. There's a McKinnon wedding overseas right now, and you know all that kind of stuff. But you would think the next week or so or two, you know, like guys are going to start coming into town. If you have kids, Brent Burns, there you go. He's been in town. Well, he's got kids, right? School started in Colorado. The first week of August, kids are back in school. So that's going to dictate a little bit when you come back to the you know, the home rink. And, you know, I think it's important. Nelson, Burns, guys that were not here last year. Of course, Nelson was here at the end of the year, but just to really get acclimated with your housing, with your kids in school, with your wife, whatever that she does. You know what I mean? It could be working, could be anything. But, you know, doctors, you know, get yourself in town ASAP. We always say it's a short career for players. Well, make it count, right? So make it count. So get in town, get used to it. Get out there with Hedgie's out there right now with the guys. Hey, Duke, you know what I mean? Like working with the skills and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, for me, I would get ASAP in town. I hate when guys show up 48 hours before the first day you have to be there, especially if you're a veteran. I understand if you're a guy that's been in the minors and you really don't have any you don't really know how to get to town earlier. But again, some guys find ways, and they're the guys that usually find ways to get called up, you know. So I think it goes hand in hand. I think you have to show you want to be there. Like Matt Steinberg, for me, if I'm Matt Steinberg, I'm here very soon. I'm
Yeah,
here
it
very soon. That's
definitely
me.
matters who
That's the
you
way I
are,
think.
for sure. Right. If you're Nathan McKinnon doing your summer practices with Sidney Crosby, and do
Whatever,
you
which they will
show up
do, you
whenever
know.
you
Yeah,
want? Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like he gets to live by a little bit of a different rule, but
For
also I
sure.
think to Eric's point, like get your life situated so that you're not worrying about that stuff. That
That's
way,
right.
when training camp gets here, all you're doing is focusing on training camp, and you're not
Fair
like,
enough.
oh,
That's
where's my family gonna be? Where's my girlfriend gonna
it.
stay? What are we doing? Who's my, like what am I doing when I'm not at the rink? You don't want any other distractions. Just get to town, get situated, get properly oriented, and then get to work because
Hey,
it's cup or
hey,
bust season.
listen. Again, it goes hand in hand with like, oh, it's such a short career. Perfect. I agree. It's a short career. So make the most of it right now. The cottage can wait. The cottage will be there when you're done at 35 and it can be there for the next 40 years. You know what I mean? Like, let's go. Make it count.
Cottage is a lot cooler when the Stanley Cup's in it. I'll put it to you that way. Uh,
Absolutely. I agree with that.
all right.
Honestly, they should just they should just put that on the wall in the practice facility.
That's the
Cottages are cooler
motivational
with
quote.
cups.
Yeah. All right. We need to get to town on our top 10 list too, though. So let's jump in. We have our 22-11 list from yesterday, as you can see here, which is perfect with no issues. I have any
Absolutely
argument is
nailed this
false.
list.
And
I
then we have
honestly
a top
love this
10.
list.
I think it's pretty solid. I don't think it's perfect, but I do think we did a good job with it.
Yeah.
Top 10. Who do you guys have at 10? Let's just kick off with the number 10 here.
I got to clean up my
Uh,
chicken scratch here. You know what I mean, I got clubbered yesterday. I got absolutely
Yeah,
punched my list yesterday by you
I have a
guys, but that's
couple.
fine.
I have a couple too.
I got to do the
um,
math here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
okay, my 10 is Jonathan Taves. Elite two-way center. Again, we talk about peak scoring wasn't as high during his best years, but he was arguably like right there hand in hand with Patrice Bergeron as the best defensive center, scoring 30 goals. Captains 3 Stanley Cup teams in 6 years, and is a wonderful playoff performer. The all-around performance. I think Jonathan Taves. I can't believe both of you don't even have him on your list. I thought, wow, I might even be low on this guy having him at 10. And
No
apparently I'm the
shot.
only one that thinks he's even in the conversation, which
Whoa,
is
whoa,
crazy to
whoa,
me.
whoa.
No.
I
How?
have him with an asterisk there because that's why I said I'm doing my math right. I only have 9 guys left and we need 10. And I had a guy on the side named Jonathan Tays with an asterisk because it's active player. Technically, is he active?
Yeah, he's signed to an NHL contract.
Oh,
He's going to
he's
be in a camp,
signed. He's
so he's
signed. You're right. Yeah, yeah. It's not a
yeah.
PTO. He's signed. All right, I'm not arguing with you on this one. I'm jumping on your train right now. If we have to steamroll Rudo, we steamroll him because I'm a big Taste fan. So
No
I
way.
just didn't think he was eligible.
If that guy wasn't wearing the C for 3 championships, I don't even think his name would come up in these conversations, to be honest with you. And I don't know how, in good faith, you can possibly put him on this list and not put Sasha Barkov on this list.
I
I
tried
think
to put Sasha Barkov.
I think Barkov is a better version of Jonathan Taves, at least when it comes to on ice ability in every single facet. Sure, if you want to give
I'm
Taves the
playing both sides
intangibles
right
and
now.
leadership, fine.
I'm
But
playing both sides. I have Barkov right here, and I had him scratched from yesterday. So then I got 11 guys left now, Tays with an asterisk. But I agree with you. I am jumping off the AJ train right now. I am jumping on the Rudo train. I'm going
I
left and
had
right right now. I
Barkov.
love it. I'm going. You had Barkov?
I had
I don't
Barkov at 14.
I don't have Barkov. I'm saying I don't know how you can
Oh,
put
I
Taves ahead
have
of Barkov.
Barkov. I had Barkov at 11. He got punched out yesterday.
I have neither, for the record. But I can't say I don't have Barkov and then be okay with Taves. That's where I'm at with it.
We
I
might have an
just
issue
don't.
now because I think we have 11 guys now for 10 spots. That's what I think.
I think with Taves, I think it's forgotten like what an unbelievably good first cup run postseason he had. He
Yeah,
had
it was
29
great.
points in 22 games. Like, and you're looking at he's an elite faceoff guy. He's an elite defensive guy. He played a defensive role. He took on all their hardest matchups, and he did it while producing at a high level offensively. He's very good offensively. And again, you look at the scoring in today's environment, and you're like, that's a second line center. Um,
You don't have to look any further than his line mate and teammate and Patrick Kane, who is wildly better than him, to a point where I think when you look at just about everyone on this list, at least for forwards, they were significantly more impactful offensively. Even in his era of like scoring was down, we still have a ton of players on this list. Like my 10 is Malkin.
how?
What do you mean how?
How is he at 10?
Where should he be,
We're
higher or
talking.
lower?
He should be so much higher. We're talking about peak here.
Yeah. I think there's 9 guys that have a higher peak than him. I'm comfortable with my list. One of them was Carlson, to be fair, which we already talked about. So And one of them was Vasilevsky.
I mean, you're talking about, do you think that Kane is that much better? I'm agreeing. I have Kane above this.
All right. I can't argue with that then, but I think
Okay, what I'm comfortable with is we have a strong disagreement from you on Taves even being on the list, but all three of us seem to agree that Barkov should be here. So are we back in with Barkov at 10?
I'm way more comfortable. I would not argue nearly as hard with Barkov at 10 than I would Taves. I'll put it to you that way.
Man, I'm fine with that. That doesn't bother me.
I think we're gonna struggle from 7 to 10 because we're gonna have to squeeze in, and some guys will just get bounced out. Where all of a sudden they could be at 17, 18, or 19. Can guys get bounced out like right now, 17, 18, 19?
Yeah, we
if
can slide
that...
guys down, I guess.
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
It's a lot of work, but
I didn't know
we'll
if there
figure
was
it
cement.
out.
Sorry, Dion.
All right. Well, while you guys think about this, let's hit our first ad break here so I can pay some bills, and then you guys can tell me why I'm stupid on the other side, all right?
Sick. Can't wait.
Join in with Empire today. Don't build a shaky floor for your arguments like I build for some of my top 20 guys. Make sure it's solid and get whatever flooring you're looking for, whether it's hardwood, tile, carpet, you name it. Empire Today has you covered and only carries the best quality products. They are the flooring experts, and you can get in today at empiretoday.com/DNVR. Get $350 off with that DNVR code. You heard that right. $350 off with code DNVR. The best part is you can get a free in-home estimate. They'll come out, they'll bring flooring swatches. You can see what the floor looks like in your home with your furniture, and then you can choose to get what you want. So head over to empiretoday.com/DNVR for full details, or of course, you can always call 1-800-588-2300. Empire. Once you've got your floors, you also are going to need a way to get around the town because you don't want to spend all day at home. So get with the official vehicle of DNVR. That is Toyota. They're also the official vehicle of the Colorado Avalanche, and they have a vehicle for everyone. Whether it be trucks like the Tundra, SUVs like the 4Runner, or sedans like the Corolla, Toyota has all of them covered, and they all come with 4 or all-wheel drive options, 17 different vehicles there. So you can go off-roading, or you can just have that security of driving on maybe a wet or snowy road here in Colorado. Whatever it is, jump in with Toyota. They have the most hybrid or low-emission vehicles of anyone in the business. They make more than anybody with 16 different options, and you can get all these vehicles at your local Front Range stores, including AutoNation Toyota, Rapala, Centennial, Corn Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota Littleton, Mountain State Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Again, Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR. Let's go places. Second period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast. Barkov in at 10, Taves removed. That is what I'm rooting for, but I'm open to arguments.
I think I made my Taves argument, and he goes from my top 10 to not even being on this list, so it's fine. I understand that the offensive scoring is way down compared to a lot of these guys, but he has one truly elite playoff run, and his two-way play is better than all these guys. Every guy that we're about to talk about on this list, his two-way play is significantly better, and was like right there. That. Arguably the best defensive center all time is Patrice Bergeron, right? And Jonathan Taves pushed him neck and neck for half a decade. So
I probably have Kopitar ahead of him, but sure.
We can fight about this off air because
an argument for a different day for sure.
Yeah. Honestly, we could do an entire pod about top defensive centers because I think it would be a fascinating.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Like it's a pick your poison. How you want to be, like how you want to go about it. And I don't necessarily agree that if Barkov is in, Taves has to be in. I had them both on my list. I think they both should be there. But Barkov, like a more productive regular season player, but you look at both of these playoff runs, and has he been their best player?
No, definitely not. But also, there's some sustainability to Barkov's peak. Taves had one sick playoff run and then is getting by on being, sure, an elite level player, but were his peaks actually that high?
again, the offensive numbers, I think, is where it's going to ding him because he breaks 70 points like twice in his career, and one of them is like this random like
in 2019.
Yeah, you're like, what? Kind of came out of nowhere. We were all like, is he back? And then he was not back. He was not.
No, it was the beginning of the end, is what that was.
Yeah. I'm good to just leave Taves on the cutting room floor for now. But I would like to revisit it at the end if we have time. If we could slot him in at the end over like a Panarin, I would be very open to that conversation.
I'm comfortable with that. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I'm in.
I'm
in with
let's
that
get
one.
let's get to the rest of our list here.
I don't. My 9 and 8 have already been in our back half. So who do you guys have left on your list?
This is gonna make people upset.
Oh, he was that Kachuk you said?
You have Matthews?
No, I got Matthews.
No, Matthews. Okay. Yeah, I had him in my back half. I had him at like 13, 14, I think.
I didn't have him on my list, so I knew I was going to lose out on this one.
I might even lean more your way. Like, obviously, the 69 goal season is outrageous. Like, that's crazy.
It's crazy, man. Yeah.
But beyond that, his peak wasn't super consistent when it comes to goal scoring. His playoff performance isn't just like not great. It's kind of disappointing.
Yeah. This is why I didn't have him on my list, is because one, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. And look, the reality is we're going to repeat some of these conversations because we're talking about like an archetype of player here. With goal scorers, it's really inconsistent year to year. They could be elite goal scorers. One year they'll have 50, the next year they'll have 30. That's what happens when you shoot 260 plus times on NHL goaltenders and NHL situations. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Unless you're Alex Ovechkin, there's a lot of variance. Even with Ovi, there was some variance. He just did it for 20 years. And with Matthews, you're talking, that is a big thing for me, is that the goal scoring has not carried over into the postseason. Is why I don't have him, because I'm like, hey, I'm open to the idea that his peak has not happened yet. His all-around, the best that we're going to see of him as an all-around player may not have happened yet, but you have to acknowledge that in 2 of the last 4 years, he has 60-goal seasons. So, like, he has a 60-goal season and a 69-goal season. Like, what in the absolute hell are we talking? But 1-2 point per game postseasons in that span.
Yeah. I just can't justify him in the top 10. Tough. I can't do that. Yeah.
I mean, I have a hard time justifying him on this list because he's been an unbelievable regular season goal scorer. He has 200-point seasons.
Yep. Which in this era is not what it would have been 10 years ago.
Not as special. But if you're looking at those, let's say that the last 4 seasons is his peak. I think that's probably fair. I think that it's hard because the postseason is his big letdown here.
Yeah.
The goal scoring is tip top. The points overall tip top. Everything that you really want out of the guy is fantastic, but there's no postseason success to speak of. Not like he's going into the postseason, he's balling out, his team is letting him down. He's not doing much. This last year, you look at it, that's part of this 4-year window, right? Elite goal scorer. We're talking about an elite goal scorer here. This last season, 3 goals in 13 games. The year before that, 1-5. Before that, 5-11. That's better. And then 4-7. That's better. But these last couple of years, 4 playoff games in 18. I'm sorry, 4 playoff goals in 18 playoff games. We're talking about a guy who makes his money because he's the best goal scorer around in this generation. That's not good enough. It's just not good enough. And that's where I have a really hard time.
Can we put Matthew Tkachuk then?
No.
Yeah, I didn't have Tkachuk on my list either.
God, I'm getting an intimidation is playing a big role right now. I'm being intimidated.
Make your case for Matt Tkachuk. I'm super curious on this.
Well, I mean, God, you're talking about totally changing a franchise. Like 3 years in a row, you put him in there. He's been in the finals 3 years in a row. He's been the dominant force each playoffs. He's got over 100 points both 2 seasons, right? Or yeah,
Mhm.
close. I mean, yeah, 2 seasons. Um, I mean, you're talking about you want to play nasty, you want to play skilled, you want to put pucks in the net. Like he does it all. You know what I mean, like that's. I think he's again. It's not saying it's my favorite. Like that type of bravado or whatever it is, but I don't know. I mean, I really had him in there. I had him more earlier. Sorry, like 15, 16. But he kind of got bounced around like. But I don't know. I mean, I'm okay with not having him, but I wanted to bring him up. You know what I mean? I just feel that.
I
You know.
if we were revisiting the conversation from yesterday, I think I would be more comfortable with Kachuk slotting in where we have Stamkos.
Yeah.
In my mind, I think he's super comparable to Miko. Like statistically speaking, obviously he brings that physical edge, and if you want to give him a little bit of advantage, sure. But when you look at his production, super solid point per game guy in the playoffs with Florida.
Yeah.
At the end of that Calgary stint is where he really blew up and really figured it out. But we also saw him fall off a little bit in Florida, in part because of injury this last year.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been the most sustained peak of all time. But I would have no issues if he was in the 20 to 16 range. Sure.
Maybe we do.
All right.
We put him. We revisit him with Taze after. How's that?
Yeah,
Sure.
I'm good. We can make a we can put a pin in Taves and Kachuk.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable
Alright.
with both of those.
All right. Sounds
Alright,
good.
got it written
Let's
down.
keep rolling. Anyone have higher than 7 left?
Yeah, I have 3.
Well, pop off then. Who you got?
Next on my list, I have Patrick Kane. I know we talked about this a
Yeah, we
little
had.
bit yesterday.
I
But
think it's dumb, but if you guys both want him in, I'm not going to argue again.
Yeah, I had him at 7 actually.
yeah, we're talking like a transformative figure for his franchise along with Taves. Like they were kind of like linked. And then of
Sure.
course we talked about this yesterday. If he was still active, we would have Duncan Keith somewhere on this list. Because he was like the third guy. I don't even know if you'd say he was the third guy, but part of that trio that turned Chicago around. But his peak is nasty. Again, point scoring wasn't quite as high, and he had a 4-year peak of 106, 89, 76, and 110, while being excellent in the postseason on a regular basis, multiple point per games.
His postseason carries him if we're putting him here, in my
Yeah,
opinion. But
I mean, it's not even a hard argument to say that he was their best player for each of their cup runs. Sorry, their best forward. I don't want to mess with the Duncan Keith thing.
2 of them at
Their
least, I
best
would
forward.
say. It's pretty clear, yeah. Okay,
So
I'm good. We can put
just
Kane.
think,
Yeah, Kane at 9 is fine. I'm not
All right.
gonna
Kane
not gonna argue that one again.
I win one.
Yay.
All right, we are about to break
This is
into our
one
top
I'm
8.
Probably gonna
But
lose.
well, save it for after the break then. So we can
Okay.
dunk on you after some ads, as we do need to take our second break of the show. Make sure we're paying our bills so I don't get left off the list the way I leave everybody off the list. If you want to get on the list to get tickets to whatever sporting event or otherwise that you're going to, make sure you get with Game Time. You can join at Game Time now by downloading the app. There's a link down in the description. Over 15 million people use Game Time to get their tickets. And the best way to use Game Time is to sign up with code DNVR, where you get $20 off your first purchase, and then use the Game Time Picks feature, where you search for whatever tickets you're looking for, and Game Time will only show you the best results for the best prices based on what you guys are searching for. So go get with Game Time. It doesn't have to just be sports. I know we're in the off season for a bunch of sports. You can get tickets to concerts. You can get tickets to the theater, whatever it might be. Game Time has you covered. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time and download the Game Time app today. Use that DNVR code and you'll get $20 off your first purchase. Of course, terms apply. Again, create that account with DNVR as the code for $20 off. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed with Game Time. Once you've got your tickets through Game Time, game tickets can be expensive. They can be a big purchase, but an even bigger purchase is buying a house. And if you're thinking about buying a home in Colorado, well, you're not the only one. There's a lot of people out there right now, and American Financing can help you wade through all of that. We're officially in a buyer's market, which means you've got the upper hand. More homes are on the market, competition is down, and serious deals are out there just waiting to be found. Whether you're a first-time buyer or looking to upgrade or even downsize, now's the time to get pre-approved. And American Financing can make that happen in 24 hours or less. And here's the kicker. When you work with both American Financing and their partner American Home Agents, you can save an additional 1% up to $10,000 on your home loan. If you've been sitting on the sidelines, it's time to step in, and American Financing is the place to start. Don't let the 20% down myth stop you. You can buy a home with as little as 3% down, and with down payment assistance programs available, getting into a home might be even easier than you think. You can call 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000 or AmericanFinancing.net to get a hold of them today. NMLS 182334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Third period of the DNVR Avalanche Podcast. All right, AJ's about to try and convince me that Devon Toews should be in the top 10 of this list.
Next on my list, I had McKinnon.
Ooh, that's too low. That's too low.
So the thing, everybody else on this list either has like major hardware. We're talking Art Ross, MVPs, Conn Smythes. So like, for me, I was like, this kind of just comes down to McKinnon's peak. For one, and I think this is the problem I also have with Cale. He's in the middle of it right now. Like, this isn't. We're not looking back on this and saying.
I do think that's a fair point.
This peak is over. You look at the last 3 years, though, because we do this again in 5 years. Hopefully, we still have these jobs in 5 years. We do this again in 5 years. How many consecutive 100-point seasons does he have? Because right now, it's 3. And 111, 140, and 116, he's not squeaking over the line with like a 101-point year. Like, ridiculous, right? And he had 111 points in 71 games.
Yeah.
Like,
it's more like a 125-point pace, really.
Right. Like, he has been unreal, and I think that my only reason that I really have him lower is he got the Hart Trophy, deserving of the Hart Trophy, but he didn't separate that year, did not win the Art Ross, does not have an Art Ross, does not have a Conn Smythe, despite being like really good in the postseason.
If you're going Mac there, then there's no way Toews is below or higher.
No, I was joking about the thing.
Oh, okay. No, I just I'm thinking.
Yeah,
I'm like, all right.
I do not have Devon Toews on my list. I really don't.
All right, fair enough. I was starting to get confused a little bit right now.
Yeah.
All right.
Here's my two arguments the other way. One, he has multiple second place finishes for the Hart. So he's this close to having 3 of them.
Yep. He sure is.
And the second part of that was he turned it off last year. There's a chance he could have won the Art Ross last year if he decided to finish the season. Yep. So I don't want to take that away from him as much. And then 2 is if we're talking single season peak, 140 points is ridiculous. There are not very many guys that reach that high of highs in a singular season. And that's why I just can't have him this low. I cannot put him this low because of that.
I have him at 3. That's where I got McKinnon.
I had him at 4. So.
Okay, so we'll wait on McKinnon.
Okay.
I'm cool. Like, this is one of those, and again, like, I know we're an Abs pod. I'm not trying to be a hater. It's basically that every guy that I have left on my list is either still in the middle of a monster peak or had an all-time great as like an all-time great top 20 skater in NHL history, and like we're talking about some of the best to ever do it in NHL history. So
Yeah,
like
agreed.
this is like for me like the difference between like 3 and 8 on my list is basically just personal preference. Like,
what do they do next year? That's the difference.
yeah, right. Let's revisit this in a year, and I might feel differently when McKinnon wins another Hart Trophy.
Okay, McKinnon off the list.
Also, just another feather in his cap. McKinnon has played in 9 postseasons. He's a point per game in all of them.
I'd have to look. I didn't check after this last year, but he was legitimately a top 10 point per game player of all time in the playoffs for a little while.
He still is.
Yeah, like that's insane.
Yeah.
All right, we can keep moving. Next guy on my list was Ovechkin.
This is too low.
He was 7 for me. I understand if you think you should be higher. I took some of the more recent guys ahead of him for actual peaks, but 4 straight seasons I guess it was 3 straight. He had 46 once, so he just missed out on 4 straight seasons of 50 plus goals. He had a 60 goal season in there too. The early part of his career, he was an unbelievable monster in an era where dudes didn't score goals like that. He just did it. Maybe 10 years from now we'll be saying Matthews, but in my lifetime, he is by far the greatest goal scorer in NHL history.
Yeah. Same.
I had him at 5.
All right.
I had him at 5. So.
I had him at 2.
2 is too high, I think. 5 might be about right, but we can hold off on him and McKinnon. We'll put him in the moving up phase, and we can keep going down our lists.
I got Draisaitl.
Just low.
I have Draisaitl at 6.
I have him at 5.
I waffled on.
All right, so you can hold on this one too.
I mean, we're gonna have to start putting some guys in places.
Yeah, someone's gonna lose out here, but
yeah.
AJ, who's on your list?
Next on my list is Kucherov. Yeah.
All right.
So, and the thing with Kucherov is the reason that he gets dinged a little bit here. You look at the last like 7 years of his career.
Yep.
Unbelievable. The only reason he does not have 7 consecutive 100-point seasons is because of COVID.
Yeah.
That's it, dude. Like that's an unbelievable. All the guys that we're talking about on this list, I think McDavid is the only one that's going to come close to that kind of run. I
would agree, and our viewership can hate you for putting McKinnon at 8, and they can hate me for putting Kucherov at 3.
Like the thing is that we have Stamkos on this list for a reason, right?
Yep.
And like you look at the guys that have played around Kucherov, all of them have been elevated to high-end, elite, Hall of Fame, whatever they are because of Kucherov. The way that he manipulates the game, he's brilliant. Brilliant. And then you get into his postseason, and I mean, my goodness. The guy has multiple 30-point postseasons, which is bonkers.
He's unbelievable.
Yeah, and I just don't know. And again, I really want to stress this point that trying to separate guys that are among the all-time greats here is so difficult to do, because like Draisaitl has a similar run where he would also have 7 straight 100-point seasons were it not for a shortened year.
Production not quite as high for me on Draisaitl,
but has 3 playoff years of 30 points.
A distinctly better goal scorer than Kucherov too.
Yeah, do it in very different ways.
Yeah.
Like, and that last part of it is a big reason why I have Kucherov here. All these numbers are great, right?
Yeah.
If we're talking about peak, do the last 3 years get cut off because in 3 postseasons in a row, he has 1 goal scored combined in the last 3 years for them. Is that peak?
I
So
mean,
if I'm removing those postseason years because they're obviously not peak for him, then I have to remove those 3 regular seasons.
but you
There
can't.
goes his
144 point
144 point
season is
season.
peak. You can't say it's not. Like,
Then if that's peak, then him having no goals
yeah, you can ding
in a
him for the
5-game
playoffs. I think
first
that's
round
fair.
loss, that's why he's down here. Just because this is peak, right? We're talking about peak, not best career. We're talking about at their absolute best. We're ranking these guys. So if you want to put his 144 point season from the regular season as part of his peak, then you have to include a no goal postseason where his team loses in the first round. And this is a similar criticism that I have with McKinnon. Yes, he was point per game, but his team has lost in the first round 2 of those 3 years.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Like, even with that struggle, if you look at, like, if you make his peak, I guess, where do you place it? Do you place it these most recent 3 years, or do you move it back a year? You still include the 144 point season, and then you pick up their second cup run where he returned to the team and was outrageously good. Like, or do you stretch? Maybe you give him a 5-year peak, and then you're looking at a player that had 2 unbelievable cup runs,
3
and
really,
then some 2.5, call it. Sure, the third one he was down a little bit from his first 2. And then you get the ridiculous regular seasons too, where he was healthy for them. I would put it this way: I'm comfortable with him wherever, but he's got to be ahead of Draisaitl.
Okay.
Then you put Draisaitl next, then?
Sure.
I guess then I guess Draisaitl. I mean, I would strongly disagree, but I mean, like, what am I gonna do, man?
That's a monster.
Yeah, I don't know how Draisaitl ends up behind McKinnon personally.
I have Draisaitl behind McKinnon again. I guess you're just waiting playoffs more than me, maybe, but
I am. But also, Draisaitl's regular seasons have been. I mean, he has multiple 50-goal seasons.
He does.
In the last 4 years, he has 3 50-goal seasons, and he's 110, 128, 106 points. Like,
I mean, McKinnon has
and
more points than that. Sure, less goals.
Yeah, but he's been a more productive postseason player in that time span. McKinnon wasn't even the leading forward in terms of points during their cup run.
That is true.
And you can make the argument. I mean, not that Draisaitl was, because he wasn't.
Connor McDavid.
So Draisaitl hasn't won a cup. True,
Yes.
but that's a team award, right? And are you blaming Leon Draisaitl for that? What more could that guy have done?
I mean, I'm also not blaming Nathan McKinnon for their first round exit this year. McKinnon scored a goal that should have sealed their first round win. Like,
I agree with you. I mean, he had 11 points in that series.
Yeah,
Nathan McKinnon was the best player in that series. Not named Jake Ottinger.
It's not his fault he didn't get to play 15 more playoff games this year. Like,
absolutely. And like, remember what happened in the Seattle series. He only had 7 points in 7 games. That's also wasn't good enough. Like, he was more of a culprit in that first round loss. But
I would agree.
You also talk about his game 7 during this peak for McKinnon. Game 7s have not gone well. This most recent one actually did.
Yeah.
So this is where with Draisaitl, I'm just like, look, Draisaitl's just been more productive everywhere except that 140 point season for McKinnon, in which he still didn't win an Art Ross.
Arbiter, Draisaitl 7 or Kucherov 7?
I think you got to go Kucherov 7.
Let's go.
Again, there's no wrong answers, man. Like you said, it comes down to choice a little bit. I mean, taste, right? As well. All the arguments are there, but, you know, like I'm mad at 14 right now. And that's fine. I'll let it go. I'm fine. I'm a team guy. Team guy. Can't win them all.
Yeah, I can't win most of them, to be honest. All right. We can keep running. I'm assuming we're all going to have pretty much the same names in this range.
Yeah.
You're probably talking about Ovechkin in this range. I know AJ had him at 2, but I don't think you can go that high.
I don't know how you put McKinnon over Ovechkin either.
Because Ovechkin's an unbelievable goal scorer, but again, I put way more value, I think, in their ultimate best season than you did. This is why I have Kucherov at 3 ahead of McKinnon on my list, because he had a ridiculous 144-point season. Like, the number of players that reach those numbers is ridiculous. It's not quite the same, but when we get to McDavid is the first player since Mario to hit 150 points. And like that season on its own, yes, that doesn't constitute his entire peak. But when the tip of the peak is that high, is that not what we're ranking?
I mean, again, this was with the first part of the conversation yesterday was what is peak? Is it 1 year? Is it 3 years? Like, what is a player's peak?
Yep. And there's no correct answer necessarily.
No. I mean, do you want me to give you my number 1?
Sure.
But I'm not going to win it. But again, it's what's the definition of peak? You know what I mean? But for me, he's the best player on the planet. I've said it 5,000 times on our show. For me, 1 is Makar. You're talking about peak. There's no one that can take over a game like he does. And that's kind of where I go with the peak there. You know what I mean? And again, we are an Avalanche podcast, yes. But I would be talking like this if I was a Dallas Stars podcast. Like, I'm not going to win the argument. We're not going to have him at 1. But for me, he's at 1. You know what I mean? And
he's close for me.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? But I'm sure I'm the only one that has him at 1 because he is the best player on the planet, which makes you at your peak the best on the planet.
Okay, let's do it this way. Let's get the names that are left out on the table. Ovechkin,
obviously McDavid, Matt, yeah.
Ovechkin, Crosby, McDavid, McKinnon, Makar.
Malkin.
Who's the 6th guy? Malkin? Okay. I feel like Malkin's a pretty easy 6 for me, but I'll let you guys make an argument for higher if you have him.
I'm fine with Malkin here.
Okay.
You know what? Put the big Gino there. Best name in hockey, Gino.
I think it's fair to, and this is part of why I ding Draisaitl a little bit too. Not that it's their fault, but we're just never going to know how good they could be by themselves.
Yeah.
Not that they couldn't be unbelievably good. I'm sure they could be, but it's just impossible to separate from the guys higher on the list.
The same is true of McKinnon and Makar, right? Like, you can't
absolutely
separate those guys. You can't separate McDavid, Draisaitl. You can't separate Crosby, Malkin.
Yep.
The thing with Malkin that I think you could ding is that he was more inconsistent than all these other guys. There were years where he was just like pretty good and not, I'm the best player in the world. And
I would agree.
That I think was the separator. Honestly, you could make an argument for Malkin below both Kucherov and Draisaitl, and I could live with it. It's fine.
That was my original argument, but we have 10 minutes left in the show, so we're not going there.
That's why I'm just like, let's roll, baby. Like, I've stated multiple times, I find a lot of these guys in the top 10 interchangeable. Nice. That camera died.
It shouldn't be dying. I don't know. Anyway, Number 5. I have Makar higher than this. I'm curious where you have Makar, though, AJ.
I'm going to put him at 4.
I had him at 1. So that's 5 total. What else?
I mean,
what did you have him at?
I've got Crosby at 1. I've got Ovechkin at 2. I've got McDavid at 3. So
I got Makar,
Yeah.
Crosby, McKinnon, McDavid, Ovi. That's what I got.
Yeah.
fine if we put Ovi here, since I know I'm the dissenting opinion.
I would have Ovi 5, Crosby 4, and then McKinnon 3, Makar 2, McDavid 1.
Where you got AJ for Makar? Where's Makar at for you?
4.
So here's my arguments. So we already talked about Ovi. We can move on from that. The Crosby one, I am fine with people having him higher than I do. But the thing with Crosby is, one, I think some of his true peak got stolen from us because of his injury troubles with his neck, which hurts the argument as a whole. And then 2, I didn't know where to put his peak because he's just so freaking good that his entire career is just like, 100-point guy, 95-point guy, 100-point guy. And he has, above Barkov, he is by far the most well-rounded forward of the bunch too. Not that he's like an elite two-way guy or anything, but compared to a dude like McKinnon or Draisaitl or McDavid, he is significantly more impactful on the defensive side. So I'm okay if you move Crosby up higher than I have him. We kind of already had the McKinnon conversation.
I think 1 and 2 should be some combination based on this list where we have Ovechkin at 5. McKinnon has to be at 4 then, because we would agree that Makar is ahead of McKinnon in terms of impact and peak and positional value there. So that would put that means our top 3 is some combination of Crosby, McDavid, and Makar.
Correct.
Yes.
Which I think is a pretty solid place for us to be.
All right. So Ovi 5, McKinnon 4. I'm good with that. I will die on the hill that McDavid should be 1 with my peak conversation. 153-point season is ridiculous. He also had a 100-point season in a 56-game season. His peak is stupid. Like stuff we have not seen in genuinely since Lemieux and Gretzky. I think he has to be 1.
I have no issue there, especially because his postseason, like he had a 42-point postseason where he won the Conn Smythe on a losing team
and didn't win. Yeah, it's outrageous.
Like you are the only pockmark, and this is where I'm going to have the team accomplishment conversation and why I have Crosby ahead of him is that Crosby has 3 Stanley Cups and Connor McDavid doesn't have any, and the back half of his series in the Stanley Cup Finals have not been good. And that's we're talking like splitting hairs here. Like the thinnest of margins. I'm like, oh well, his games 5 through 7 actually weren't that good. Like
he had 42 points, but those 3 games,
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. Like it's not fair. But I don't know how. If you look at Sidney Crosby's career, I don't know how you come to the same conclusion of like, oh well, but what did he do at the what did he do in this year, that year, when he's been on just not a good team, and he's putting up 90 points. His career he has a 20-year peak.
Yep, that's the thing with Crosby. Like, his whole career is the peak. I don't know. It's just not as high of a peak as McDavid for me, even if he won Stanley Cups.
Hey, you look at the last 4 games. I was curious to see if I'm being an asshole or not. His last 4 games of their most recent Cup final loss to Florida, McDavid had 2 points.
What more is he supposed to do? Like
4 points would have helped.
Yeah, okay, but he can't. he gets them all the way to the finish line and needs just a little help. All right, or really a goaltender.
But when it comes down, like, he needs the help, but he had 2 points in 4 games in the last 4 games of their cup final.
Yeah, I'm not dinging him enough to put him behind Crosby there. I'm just not. And the other conversation, as we're running out of time, I'm sorry to rush us along, but Cale Makar, 1, has a Conn Smythe also. 2, did win a Stanley Cup. 3, when you look at defensemen, since the turn of the century, Makar has 3 of the 6 highest scoring seasons for defensemen. Half of them are Cale Makar in the last 25 years.
Yeah.
He's the number 1 defenseman by so far. It's not even
easily
close. And it's why I had him at 2 ahead of Crosby, and I ultimately had McDavid at 1, but
again, if we're considering him in his peak right now, that includes this most recent postseason series against Dallas, where that's the worst of his career.
Yeah, and it's still 5 points in 7 games. Like,
yeah, one of which was an empty net goal from 200 feet away that had no material impact on the game.
But we're not nitpicking every Crosby or McDavid point in the playoffs.
That's because I don't know him well enough.
Right. You had Makar at 1. How do you justify
I'm willing to put him at 2. That's fair. I'm putting him at 2. I can't get him lower. But you guys decide.
I mean, all right. That to me, that feels like it has to be McDavid, Makar, Crosby, unless AJ has a final stab at this.
I mean, this is how you guys want to make this list. It's fine. I think both Makar and McKinnon are. I think they're both too high, and that makes me the classic hater, but that's fine. I don't. Cale Makar goes out,
for sure.
Wins another Norris, wins another Conn Smythe. Unimpeachable.
He does have 2 Norrises in that trophy case, and a Calder, by the way.
Yeah,
and a Conn Smythe.
Yeah, it's pretty good hardware. I put Crosby 3 and McDavid 1. And that'll be our final list. That is just so that we all hate it. That means it's good, right?
During this peak, Makar has 2 years where he's not even a point per game guy in the postseason.
Okay.
All right.
I'm just saying. I think AJ puts too much weight in playoffs. I think I put too much weight in a single season. And I think
I'm all over the map.
He puts too much weight
in. I don't understand the word peak.
He puts too much weight in good teammates. That's the vibe that I got.
We gotta revisit some of these at the bottom here. Are we dropping Panarin and Taves? So
I think we pumped Panarin for Tkachuk.
And then what? You want to yeet Stamkos for Taves?
Sure.
Fine. I'm not gonna argue it.
Yeah, we've got 2 minutes left, so we just got to make a choice here.
I would punt him.
I'm good with Tkachuk at 19 for sure. I'm less okay with Taves, but I won McDavid at 1 and Makar at 2, so I'll leave it. I'll leave it be. Okay, so you put in Tkachuk at 19 for Panarin, and that's our final top 20 list. We did it. We made it. It's official. I'm sure everyone will love it, and no one will think anything is wrong with it at all anywhere on the list.
I came in today feeling so good about it, and I'm walking out of it feeling like I hate this. Well, which means it's probably in a decent place, other than the Avs are too high.
I don't think Makar's too high. I really don't. I know he's in the middle of it. But anyway, what you won't hate is that we're headed into overtime right now. continue the conversation online at thednvr.com. We talked about it a few times already on the show, but realistically, other than Kucherov and, I mean, even maybe Kucherov, but not Malkin and not Kane, the rest of the top 10 could slide significantly one way or the other, just based on A, how you feel, and B, what the next year or two looks like.
Yeah, I think the conversation that we've been having over and over about what are you prioritizing would have a significant impact on how you would shape your top 10 in this.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you just don't. This is a hard topic. Not that it isn't a good topic. I think we had a bunch of good conversation, but we're talking about active player peaks, and what 12 of these guys, you could say it's possible they haven't peaked yet on this list. Like,
yeah, like you're looking like, and with McDavid, you're like, how much better could it possibly get?
Right?
Is he gonna have a 50-point postseason? Like, you know, or is it just like more of the same? And what is a peak? You know, if we limited this, if we came in with like a stronger parameter of like you have to pick 3 years for a peak, then it probably would have had a much stronger like shaping of this conversation. But regardless of actual order, I do think that this is a really solid, like, it goes to show you these guys, especially in the top 8, save Malkin, as you said, like all of these guys still have something. Like you're still making a good argument here about, hey, they like Draisaitl, Kucherov, McKinnon, Makar, and McDavid are all still doing special things. Barkov still doing special things.
I feel pretty confident we got most of the names right. I feel no confidence in our order at all.
Oh,
I
same.
bet you could have like 30 different orders if you gave it to 30 people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think.
Oh, we should set up one of those like voting like websites where people like, here, this guy versus this guy, and then after a week of voting,
it narrows it down.
We pull the fan vote and do it and be like, all right, here's the list that you guys all voted on based on your responses. And it would look nothing like this.
I'm sure it would look entirely different. But that is all the time we do have for today. So we are going to get out of here. We appreciate everybody hanging out. You can make fun of our lists. I'm sure we'll post it on Twitter later and get roasted because that's what I do. But it was fun. Like and subscribe here on the channel if you want more content. Lots more stuff coming your way this summer and into preseason or whatever you want to call it. We'll be back tomorrow. Me, E, and J Mike will be back on for some kind of fun show. We'll have a good time. Hope to see you there. This has been the DNVR Avalanche Podcast, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
We all silly like the mayor.